What's going on, Scorpio? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just epic, Scorpio, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Because it's General Energy Weekly Spread. I'm not sure what those hand signs I was doing there. We're just kind of winging it, Scorpio, with those dance moves. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Scorpio. So I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that are like watching Scorpio, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you'd really enjoy them. But let's go ahead and get to your first card here. Oh, looks like we got a little, might be have a little bit we're worrying about there, Scorpio, because you got the 9th card of Gemini's, which is the Worry Beads card. And with this card, this is a card of worry, fear, anxiety, irritated, calming, soothing, bored, passing time, upset, unease, needs care, fretful, ritual, repetitive motion, de-escalate, and nervous tick. Energy that's coming through here, Scorpio, is irritated. And, you know, Scorpio, I feel we want to be, if there's something that's been kind of irritating you of late, because because I feel like if, this irritation almost feels like this is something that we may be keeping bottled up for some, you know, because Gemini is a sign of communication. And I feel like if we have something that, let's say, if like with a person that we might be kind of irritated with, maybe there's a certain thing that they're doing, a certain thing that they're saying, a certain, you know, I feel like that if this is something that's been going on for a while, you know, considering too, you know, that the sun is in Libra right now for the next month, you know, this could be a great time to kind of address those irritations in a diplomatic type of way, you know, trying to find the, you know, the most harmonious way to de-escalate a situation. Now, I feel like if this irritation continues, then this might be something where if this is a person, maybe we're putting up some boundaries, or we may even be, you know, be kind of moving on from that energy altogether there. But this irritation even kind of feels like maybe for some, you know, maybe this is like a job that we might be putting up with, or maybe there's a living situation that we're irritated with, and there's this, you know, we have this energy of frustration, this anger, this thing that is just like kind of building up there. But it feels like that I feel like for some there's almost a sense of powerlessness that's kind of coming through here. That's just like it's and, and I feel that, Scorpio. and I And I feel that when we do get to that place of where it's just like you know, it's building up and it's boiling, and it's like the pot's about to fly off or the lid's about to come off the pot there, I feel that there is a need to kind of like use that energy as fuel. I'm getting like Ace of Wands type of energy in the sense of like, what ways can we take action? You know, how can we in like the least before thing, because I feel like if we keep this thing bottled up, Scorpio, and stay to that state, then it's just going to blow up in a way bigger way than it could if we were to try to find some alternative ways of dealing with this thing. You know, maybe if this is like a living situation, for example, and let's say we're in like a, let's say we're in for like a lease. You know, this could be something where if we can't necessarily break that thing or maybe find someone to sublease, maybe we're just not hanging out there as much, you know, or we're just kind of staying in our own type of space, however that may look. And you may already be doing this, and it's just like, what can we, I feel like it's just like trying to look for constructive ways to manage this thing just before, yeah, just before that water boils over. Because I feel like for some, if we were to like address this thing, or like, and it feels like there's this energy too of just like, it's like you are, yeah, it's not that you're, I feel like it's a being prepared as well, just in case, you know, we're going at this thing with like a cool head. But let's say if this is with a person, like they're responding with the sort of typical kind of thing that kind of puts you on edge, and if you feel yourself wanting to react, if you can help it, Scorpio, in that moment, it's just like, you know what, got it. You know, we might need to kind of, and I know how this feels, where it's just like we might need to eat it for a little bit until we can find different avenues of getting out of this place, you know. And then just like, let that be a fuel. It's just like, you know what, we're not necessarily letting them get away with things. We're letting that, okay, it's like, heard, this isn't something that I can fix in this situation. We may not be able to fix the situation, but we can how do I want to put this, Scorpio? Let me get some tarot on this, because that's a tough one. Thank you. Let's see what's going on here, Scorpio. Ooh, one of your cards. I think that's interesting. All right, Scorpio. So you have the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the Hermit card, the Page of Wands, and then the Hanged Man here. And I feel that I feel like for some that there's this energy of, like, let's say this is a job, for example, and I feel like if if you've been keeping things bottled up, or if you've been kind of like reflecting on this thing, you know, maybe this is something where if something is irritating you about how a thing is ran, for example, maybe this, instead of just like, if we've been in sort of this sort of like complaining, sort of angry type of energy, it's just like maybe we can think of some like constructive ways of like, how do we improve the stuff, use that as a means of inspiration. It's just like, hey, I've noticed that this is like a sort, we can, it's like, let's say we have like a system that we've been doing. It's just like, hey, this has been slowing down productivity, and not necessarily speaking for you. And it's just like, I think that, or speaking for others, it could be just like, I feel that this could be something where if we were to try maybe this approach, you know, maybe we can give this like a trial run, for example. And it's not to say that you haven't already done these things, Scorpio, because, and here's the thing, if you have done this thing and it's still not met with that because I feel like a lot of hot energy here, Scorpio, with the Eight of Wands, and I feel there's a need to kind of get things moving, and like that's what this irritation is kind of trying to do here. Where I'm not saying this situation is not. It's like, because for some, I feel like it feels like there's this impossible situation and we can't possibly move past this thing, but I feel that there's a need to kind of see this from a different view here with the Hanged Man here. It's just like, where there's a will, there's a way, and it's just like, do we? Because I feel like if we just continue to stay in that energy, Scorpio, that's all we're going to attract. It's just going to perpetuate the problem, you know. And at some point, if we don't take action on this thing, you know, where I'm not saying to that a situation, like if this is a person And, if we're choosing to stay around those energies, we have to take some credit in or take some fault in that as well, because it's like we know how they make us feel, yet but yet we're still kind of hanging around that. And it's just like, what can we do? There has to be something that I feel like that can lead this, because even like this Eight of Wands it's stress and antsy, and it's a lot that you're bringing right now. And I just feel like that it's the Hanged Man is kind of asking you how much is enough. Like how much? When is it too much? You know what I mean? Let me get more with this Knight of Cups here, because to me that's one of your cards there, Scorpio. Thank you. And here's one of your rulers. Got Mars here. And then you have, so the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Tower, the King of Swords, and then the Five of Pentacles. And I feel like for some it's just like maybe we feel like alone in this situation here, like we don't have the resources in order to get out of this thing. And that may be the case right now. And that's where I feel like when I was trying to talk about that earlier, where it's just like we may need to eat it for a second while we try to build up this game plan with the King of Swords here, because it's not that I feel that we want to stay in this situation. There's this Tower. We know that this foundation is affecting you in this term here, but I feel like that frustration is, and that irritation is, in a sense, it's clouding your energies and your decisions, than it is actually turning that thing into the fuel it needs to start brainstorming and to start really kind of, it's like we're just so fixated on the problem and not putting enough into the solutions. So just something to think about there, Scorpio. Whew. All right, hot start there. That's fine. And you know what though, Scorpio, I do feel like that. And granted, I'm not saying that it's gonna take until Mars gets into your sign in order for you to be able to take action, but this might be an energy again, like, while you're getting this game plan here, because when Mars does move into your sign, that's a very, Mars is at home in your energy, being one of your rulers, and can bring that drive, bring that tenacity, bring that sudden shock, because I even feel like too, it's like maybe for some we haven't found this, even for some maybe we haven't even found the source of irritation yet, maybe even like it's but let's get another oracle on this, Scorpio. Oh, interesting, Scorpio. All right, so you got the 8th card of Libras, which is the Blinders card. And with this card, this is a card of victim mentality, confusion, tunnel vision, resist clarity, confirmation bias, restrictions, narrow focus, echo chamber, denial, oblivious, out of touch, hyper focus, and concentration. And the energy that's coming through here, Scorpio, is the restrictions. And that's where I feel that maybe for some, I'm getting even like this Eight of Swords energy, where it does feel like that we have to operate in this level of restrictions, and that's just like adding on to the irritation. It's almost becoming this sort of this. Let's see. Let me see if I have less colorful words that I want to say. It's this. The situation is getting a little effed right now, and it's one of those that it seems that it's like the more that we're getting kind of caught up in this rage here, Scorpio, that it feels like it's restricting our view as well. It's like it's keeping us in that Five of Pentacles type of energy, where we're not seeing where we can maybe change change up a certain situation. It's like we're just, and it's like we know we can, but then again, it's just like then something happens and it happens all over again. I'm even getting like this, maybe even for some, there's this sort of like, it's like a gaslighting you type of energy, or something that's someone that's even just trying to keep this spiral just going and going. But that's something we may need to do, Scorpio, is just breathe for a moment. Take some time and meditate for a little bit, and sit with these emotions that are coming through, and really kind of, because I'm thinking about the Knight of Cups, you know, in like the traditional like tarot, he's holding this cup here, and it almost looks like that he's scrying in the water. Maybe we need to surround ourselves with a more sort of peaceful setting, and just remove ourselves from that situation altogether, so that we can kind of reevaluate, do some hermiting energy, so that we can find some epiphanies. I feel with the hanged man being here, you know, find again a different perspective, because I get when the emotions get hot, Scorpio. You know, I feel like for all the signs that's tough, you know, and for water signs, you know, that's a, you know, we can get, you know, being the fixed water sign, we can get kind of locked in on that. But my sun signs in Cancer, and that was anger and irritation was one for me that until I gave it that space, it was crippling when it would come through, and then like you try to calm it down, and then I would just lose it. It would be these just intense bursts of just heat, and listen, where I may not be the, you know, I don't have any Scorpio, well, I have Pluto in Scorpio, but where I'm thinking of it, that fixed energy, because fixed signs, you know, when they're locked on something and they're frustrated, they can get just feeding on just that one thing. And I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart, and I just feel like there's this it's a needing to see this energy. I feel like if we can kind of sit with it for a second and figure out the triggers for it, so even if we have to deal with something for a little while, we have a better way or healthier way of managing that and keeping it so that it doesn't just become this let me get some tarot on this and get some details, Scorpio. Interesting. So you have the Moon card, the Page of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Seven of Swords here. And it feels like with the Seven of Swords here, it's just like there's this energy of running away is what I keep getting from this. It's just like a need, like it's just like it's giving me very, that's interesting, it's giving me very kind of reckless energy with this Seven of Swords being here. There's this, it's like the ideas of, it's like this idea or whatever this thing that's going on, it's like it's really kind of forming in our thoughts in a sense, and it's creating this sense of conflict. And it's just like, how can we almost get out of this? And when I say illusion, in a sense, it's just like it's like this situation has trapped us, and it's just like we're not able to see past this energy, and it's keeping you, that it's let me find more words for this with this Moon card here, Scorpio. Hold on. Thank you. Interesting. So the Moon, interesting, is clarified by the Two of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Chariot. And And now this kind of wave of sadness kind of came through here, Scorpio, because it feels like if it's affected your abundance, and it's affected, I feel like we feel like we can't move, and it's this crippling sense, and it's throwing your old flow off, is what I feel like it's, and it's just like there's, and I feel like with the Seven of Swords, this can be like a card of of like of this lying energy in a sense of, and I feel like it's more so that it's like this energy of just like I don't know what to do, or I'm not sure how to help this, or not something like that, Scorpio. And if it's gotten you to where it feels so stagnant, because it's like we do know what to do, but it's just like whatever this is, if we once we let these ideas kind of come into our head, then that's what keeps us like in that sense of lack work. It keeps us stuck. You know what I mean? I hope that this makes sense. And this might be something where we may need to either talk with a friend about this, possibly, and like, and not that you're not hearing them, Scorpio, but really, if this is someone that you really kind of trust, really listen to some of the things that they've said, and if they're saying things that you've already thought, let's say like we need to find a way to move on from this situation, or we need to, because maybe even for some it's just like it's not that we don't know what to do or that we can't do anything, it's just there's this fear with the moon of like what that looks like, the things that we need to do in order to get out of this thing. Maybe we need to quit a job for a second and we don't have the finances to cover that, or maybe this is like a relationship possibly, and it's just like now we have to create this abundance by ourselves possibly. We have to take on more, whatever that may be, Scorpio. And just be careful about restrictive mentality, Scorpio, and thinking that you can't get out of it, because you're a powerful sign, and you can, and that's where I feel like too that's gonna need to kind of change where our heads at too, so that this chariot doesn't stay stuck. And I found, Scorpio, sometimes when I would this is not, this is just still a tool for me. Sometimes when I find myself really upset, I have to move. I have to, whether that be going for a walk, or if weather's not permitting, I'm pacing. I just have to move, because otherwise, if you just sometimes if you and maybe sometimes we've just tried to sit with that and that hasn't been working. You can reflect in different type of ways, and that might be something to consider too. Just throwing some tools out there, and that might be too, maybe with the Seven of Swords, exploring different types of ways to maybe help dealing with the thoughts and this frustration, so it can help you kind of get clear headed and brainstorm and clear this fog that the moon seems to be creating here. More. All right, let's get some tea. Drinking some chamomile tea. There's Scorpio, not medical advice, but a little something extra there too. Let's drink some tea, and then let's get your last card here. Thank you. Oh, interesting, Scorpio. Alright, so you have the sixth card of Pisces here, which is a childhood card. And with this card, this is a And with this card, this is a card of innocence, playful, growing, friendship, lightness of being, foundations, need of others, revisit the past, living, loving life, no worries, inexperience, growth, and new beginnings. And the energy that's coming through here is the growing, Scorpio. But what kind of popped in my head there, right, as this card sort of came through here, because I felt that there was this. For some, I almost felt like there was this irritation, or that irritated energy, that it feels like that we may not know where the source of that is. And as this makes sense, Scorpio, maybe there is some sort of childhood thing that's coming up here, because the moon is Pisces energy, in the chariot that's Cancer energy, and that deals with, they deal with the home space. And so maybe for some, I'm even getting this energy of just considering too, that just kind of clicked in too, that you got The Hanged Man is Neptune, and that's one of the rulers of Pisces. You know, not that they don't have boundaries, but there is that struggle with boundaries, for Pisces energy and like that 12th house type of energy. And, maybe for some there's this, where it's like we're growing in the sense of like growing past this, whatever the source of irritation is, or, this maybe restrictive mentality that we've gotten ourselves into, or I feel like because you're gonna get out of this situation, Scorpio. We may not have trouble seeing the finish line right now, but I do feel like that there is going to be a lot of growing that is going to come from this thing. But I'm still just like really with this growing. I feel like that there's this. It's just the energies of that. That I feel like that there may be others that are not respecting your boundaries, or not expecting or respecting your, just not respecting you, Scorpio. And I'm at like, and that's where I feel like this energy of this, like there's this, because that's interesting. It's like this energy of like running away with the Seven of Swords here, and this moving on with the Chariot. It's, or getting like this, and even like the Eight of Wands can be this. There's this moving energy, and maybe this is something for some. Maybe that's something where it's like we've been kind of running away from something. As soon as we get to find this irritation, instead of like kind of facing this thing for some, it's just that we're just kind of keeping it moving and not allowing that energy to reflect on, find the source of this, whatever this irritation is. There's something different that's kind of coming through here, but it's something that we're trying to grow from, or trying to get some eyes on here. But getting kind of like sun energy. But let me get some yeah, let me get some tarot on this. Alright, Scorpio, last little bit here. Huh. And there's your other ruler here, Scorpio. So you have the Pluto Judgment card here. But you got the Judgment card, the Six of Swords, another card of we're moving, Scorpio. King of Pentacles, and then Two of Cups here. And then let's switch back over. Because, for some, I'm really getting just sort of strong, just sort of like just kind of taking, just because we're sort of talking about that childhood energy, I just for some, there's this love that's there. For some reason, there's this love that's there, and I feel like that it's like it's almost that this love is a source of irritation, which that's an interesting place to be. Just take that as it resonates. But I feel that there is this thing too, like there's this strong sort of just like a needing to like maybe either like remove ourselves from a situation, go on to calmer shores, find this sense of stability, and and really kind of getting your power back. Because I'm feeling with I'm just thinking more so on the Pluto aspect of that, because that's one aspect that Pluto deals with, that sense of power. And let me get a little bit more with the King of Pentacles before we get out of here, Scorpio. Hmm. So the King of Pentacles is clarified by the Fool and the Devil here, Scorpio. And it's like again, there's this energy of needing to move on from this sort of like this whatever this situation is. It's like we've given with the devil, we've given a situation something, we've restricted ourselves in a way. We're giving an energy more power than I feel like than we realize. And the fool is trying to get us to move on to that, to move to regain your stability again, to regain this autonomy, to and I really feel like with the Two of Cups, there's a need to kind of to connect with your higher self, or however you connect to source, spirits, ancestors. So there are these signs, this irritation, because I feel like even your guides could even be feeling this. That they're putting this irritated energy in here as again as a motivator to get you moving, because you got a lot of motion cards that are going through here. And but the devil is not just something that's, that keeps you down. The devil is an energy of perseverance, and in the face of your fears and your demons and your, these situations, it's finding that tenacity to keep moving forward. And that might be something too, what this motion is. It's just the perseverance aspect of it, to keep moving forward. So all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Scorpio. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and share this, Scorpio. If you know someone who's been kind of struggling with this thing, this kind of mental, like this sort of this mental block, I feel, or having troubles growing or understanding these situations, or just a little something. Yeah, just share this if you notice that, Scorpio. And then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified when I release videos each week. And then lastly, shift gears a little bit, let you get the hottest ticket to come over to my other channel, Scorpio. Not that you need it, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Charity and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, even if they're Pisces. Pisces. I'm kidding. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Scorpio. And you have the Nine of Pentacles here. And I like that because the Nine of Pentacles, that's Venus and Virgo. And that's getting ready to work on, that's working on the Empress energy. And I feel like it's, it's getting out of this. I feel like it's getting to the state of just understanding your power in a sense, understanding that you can not let situations or people or anything take away from your abundance and take away from your ability to grow and to learn and to prosper and to yeah. I feel like there's just a lot of things that we're going to be working on ourselves there too, Scorpio. So just something to think about there. But let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. All right, Scorpio. So you have the interesting. So you have the 42nd card here, which is the chop wood card. And I feel like with this chop wood, I feel like that because chopping wood, that's a lot of work, and I feel like that's what's going down here. Whatever this situation is, this growing, this all of this is going to be a lot of work, and that's not to deter you from this. It's to let that be a motivator, because that is you are growing, you are learning, you're coming into your higher vibrations. I feel like that again, these challenges, these devil situations, tower moments, hanged man situations, they're moon cards. They're not meant to just hold you back. They help you to level up, and to shed that skin and to come into this higher vibration of yourself, to build that resilience. And so yeah, that's just something to think about there, Scorpio. But you stay safe out there. these irritations, these hot emotions, because that was a lot. That was a lot, Scorpio, and I get like it was like this. This is a lot. So but you got it. And that's the thing too. Maybe it's just like be careful about getting just focused on that too. It's like how I just did there. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot, and sometimes that stuff can compound. How can we break that? Maybe get out, chop some wood, Scorpio. Get that frustration out there. Do some physical activity, whatever. Go punch a bag or something like that. Do some kickboxing, just something to get that energy out so that it can kind of help think clearly. Raise your vibration to the roof. Do some self-care. That's what I was kind of feeling this Two of Cups too. Take care of yourself, Empress. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself and be kind to yourself too, Scorpio. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.